Good afternoon, everybody. I know it's usually good morning, but I couldn't help myself today, it being the 23rd and all, to go ahead and make the video about the 23rd. And nothing's going to happen here, but I am going to decipher the times, and half the times that the woman is in the wilderness. A time, more Bible, Bibble, Babble, unscribble the scriptures. A time is the same thing as a world. It's an age. The earth is not the same thing as the world. The world is only here for a short time. The earth is forever. It's material. It's locked into this material matrix, and it's not going anywhere. Even if it crumbles to dust, it will become something else. But the words do not mean the same thing. Earth is the physical body itself. World is denoted with time, as in time, a time, an age, a time, a world. When you put four of them together, you have an eon. There are 3 eons on the wheel. That is part of the alchemical transformation. You do it 3 times to purify. And so mankind is becoming. What are we becoming? We're almost there. You're getting a good look at it. Our creative forces and our destructive forces. But to me, this is the age of Egypt. And this is the true age of Egypt. And Leo is the true age of Babylon or Mesopotamia. And then the flood happened, and they're just trying to dig all that up. They're resurrecting all these old stories. Originally, it's like the word Anunnaki. When you do the alchemy on Anunnaki, it just means a new knowledge. And that was the Jupiterian knowledge, is exactly what it was. This knowledge. This is the God of this age. Jesus called the God of this world Satan. That would make it this world age of Pisces. Pisces has the woman underfoot. She, the mutable woman, is under the foot of the mutable cross as Pisces is on top. His power, this power of the Vatican right here, you see how the Vatican is in Leviathan. It comes from her. And this was old Egypt. So they dug up the knowledge that was redone over here in Taurus, is what they've done. And a lot of that knowledge came out of Gemini, which was ruled by Mercury. This is when Hermes, Trismegistus, this is when Thoth all wrote their great works. They were astrologers after the flood in Cancer. So, we know now, yesterday was the equinox. Let's back it up and see exactly what day, how many years we have left before the sun and the woman really moves into the wilderness. Okay? She moves into the wilderness when the sun no longer rises on the fall equinox in Virgo. On the day that it lands in Leo, that's the day the woman is carried into the wilderness on the wings of an eagle, Scorpio with the serpent, one sign. For a time, there are 3 stages. Time times is 2. That brings you to the winter solstice. And then you must proceed halfway through that before you're considered born. You must be more than halfway through the birthing canal of 1221, the Lu cipher. And then you enter in. Like Jesus died on 1221, the cross, but then he's born 3 days later, right? And a day is 1,000 years. That's just a way of saying I could also say a day is 3K. But that is just a euphemism. It doesn't mean exactly 1,000 years. Although an age, a world, lasts about 3,000 years. We think it's shorter. They've got it calculated out about 2,160 years. But in all actuality, they've left out that the sun goes into a retrograde motion. To go around the zodiac is not 25,000 years. It's more about 40. I've done the calculations. The sun has a retrograde phase backdropped against the zodiac. It moves 1 degree forward in 72 years, but in the same time, it has a slight retrograde motion because the sun wobbles as it goes through. It doesn't make a perfect circle. It's like a spirograph. You remember those they gave us as kids? Well, they're going to make a big comeback because the next age is going to be all about astrology, geometry, all of the sciences. Astrology will return to medicine. Let's back this up. And this is how you do this. Today's the 23rd. Oh, I'm going to go backwards. We're watching this line right over here. IAU constellation Virgo. And when it hits Leo, we can calculate right there. So it's 7 days away. If the sun were to, if the spring equinox were to be on the 15th, then this prophecy would be true. But it's not. It is 7 times 72, which is 490 plus 144. Don't ask me how I do that math in my head like that, but that's what it is. You're looking at almost 700 years. We've done this. But at the same time, one earthquake, which is mentioned in this, can throw it in, and she delivers early. That's the only way this could happen today, is if she delivered early, and there was an earthquake, and the sun moved 7 degrees. There are 7 degrees of separation right now. And when she does that, when she finally makes that, that's the death of the Vatican over here. Because Pisces at that time will no longer rise. It will be the king of heaven on the spring equinox and the king of the earth on the fall equinox. It will be Leo. It will be the fixed cross facing east. Like I've showed you. The Masons do not judge it by the north. They do it by the east. Now let's go back to the day we are at, 23rd, which puts the moon under her feet. That's what they're waiting on. The moon is at 14% illuminated. It's not crescent, it's not full, it's becoming. So let's zoom in on the moon here. You can see what 14% of illumination is, and there's no way the moon to be hosting Jupiter, the crescent would have to be on this side. It's on the wrong side. It's not hosting. Look at the Muslim flag. At their symbols, it shows you how the moon hosts. She's the hostess with the mostest. That's what I call it. But there's no way that crescent is hosting anything at this moment. So there's a lot wrong with this, a lot right with it, but a lot wrong. Some of this same configuration will happen again. To me, it will be Saturn here not Jupiter. Jupiter's the age of water, the god of the abyss. We're moving into the heavens. So to be born at that point, the sun is here in Leo. Saturn is over here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alarms going off. My dog on patrol. Alright, back to the cross again. A perfect zodiac. What does it look like? It has the fixed cross facing east. The man is on the cross. Saturn will be in Aquarius. Mars will be in Scorpio, the eagle. The sun will be in Leo. And Venus will be in Taurus. That's a perfect fixed cross. You're looking for somebody born on a day that occurs, is what you're looking for. Because it's perfect. He's lifted up. The sun is under his feet. He has Lucifer, or Venus, in his right hand, and Mars in his left hand. And that's what this thing should look like. If there's ever a perfect day, that would be the day. So it would be a day in August, well, actually in September, because this needs to move. It's Leo in September. What a great name for a book or a movie. Leo in September. They're always doing movies about September. It's always about September. It's about 12/21, 3/21, 6/21, 9/21, and because of leap year, and this day could change with an earthquake, right? Any day of the year, an earthquake could happen and shift all of this. Or we could wake up in a brand new world in just one little quake, one little wobble, one little shift. A magnetic shift might do it. Anything that would shift where the sun rises in the east. And everything's a wobbling right now. I mean, there's videos all over about what the moon is doing. We've done videos of the moon. I'll let you walk through the house. Let's do it again for the new subs. Because she does a little dance. You can see the wobble in it all. So we'll just take her across the sky. Ooh, that's real fast, ain't it? Let's slow it down and do it by hours. And just let her walk. There we go. She's really fast. I've given you Planetary Linguistics, link below in the description box. Watch her dropping this eye. Wow. I done a chart with this. It kind of freaked me out. I didn't know how to think about it. I've never done one like that. This is considered Leviathan. This is the beast of the abyss. This has everything to do with Jupiter. And of course, it houses between three ages, Pisces, Aries, and the coming out of Egypt. Part of that. Thank goodness it's almost over. Let's watch her go. Sometimes, the one I did, watch it fall in Aldebaran here, the moon wobbles, and so many years it will land right here in the other eye of the bull. That's considered big earth magic. Big earth magic. The magic of the golden cat is the moon in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So to have Venus in the eye of the bull, the moon, any of them, any planet or even the sun landing in this left eye of the bull is very significant. To me, we come into our bodies in the right eye in this age. In the next age, I believe we will enter the left eye and land in the back right-hand part of the brain. Which is that opposite energy. Somebody left me a link this morning to a Vatican website talking about 12. I'm at 923 and what's going on. It was the Vatican Observatory. And yeah, they had a link for contact. So I left them a message and a couple of links on my perspective of how that's going to go down. The moon is going to re-enter that Leo phase on the 15th of October. It's going to come back around. It will go 12 times through the spot where the eclipse was this year. It actually goes 13 times, but one time it made the eclipse, and then it'll go to complete the cycle. It will go around 12 times before the sun comes back around to that point. So that will be significant times when the moon, and again, it's just a marker point. Every time a planet is over here by Regulus, 3 degrees Leo, you need to keep an eye on the energies of that planet are still affected by that eclipse point. We have a moon Mars in Virgo on the 17th. That's October now. Watch the dates up there. On the 18th, she will eclipse, almost eclipsing Venus. Right there with it. The Sun in Spike, Mercury, Jupiter. Look at this here. There's a nice little pyramid for you. Now, if that ain't something else, you got a day moon on the 19th. And that's funny, because a lot of the charts I'm doing right now, they're October. The patterns are just becoming incredible. So let's watch her keep moving. But you'll notice how she's going to wobble up and down. And we'll bring her around a few times. That way you can see, you can set marker points that she'll cross a star on this turn, but the next turn it'll miss it. It's because it's like a spirograph. She doesn't actually move. She wobbles. I mean, she has a apogee and a perigee. She comes closer and further away. It wobbles, and it's an oval. It's not perfectly round. You can watch over here in the bottom left in the statistics and see when it hits full. Every time it comes to 100%, we'll have a full moon in, will it be in Pisces in November? Nope, it's not going to make it to Pisces. Whoop. Let's see. It's going to be on the line there. See, and they even call that Cetus. They don't even call it Aries, like Ophiuchus, right? I mean, you got to say that is the time of the beast. Like Saturn being in Ophiuchus, when it's really Scorpio, it just throws, I guess that's the power of the decans. You have houses below and houses above, and then the cross that they're on. Alchemy really helps you understand all of this, but definitely it's going to be in Aries. The full moon will be in Aries on November the 3rd. Back in the eye, we're going to come around again, because it's not going to stay in that eye. She's going to wobble for us. There in the club of Orion over the sun pillar. But all of the stories, all of our myths and legends, even all of our religions, all the movies, most of the music we get, it all has to do with this. Why? Because this is us. We come from there. We are the manifestations of the energies of the heavens. Let's go back. I want to back this up a few days. We'll walk it forward. I want to go back to 11:11, because the moon, this is the time of day that Wayne is doing the chart. I'm at 60 Seconds for Humanity. So you're going to have the moon is going to return to the eclipse point on 11/11 at 11/11. And we did not know that when we picked that day. I'd done the chart for 60 Seconds for Humanity, but we were watching the sun. Now the sun will be in the wisdom of the heavens with almost a Jupiter-Venus conjunction in Virgo. Very auspicious day. It's Veterans Day. It's a federal holiday in the United States. It's a memorial for those who have died. This eclipse was my first choice, but to have the moon return to that spot on this day, that's significant to me. That's more significant than the sun. Why 11? Well, there used to be 11 constellations, depending on whose zodiac you look at. The Greeks only had 11. We've done those videos to show you where Julius Caesar took away the eagle. They put in the astrologers put in the Persian scorpion and hid the serpent. I mean, why isn't that balance straight? Have you ever asked yourself why it looks like a damn snake? Because it is. And it means this is the sign of the wisdom of the heavens. This sign, in the Bible, you will know it as a third of heaven fell. Well, there are 3 heavenly signs: Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Libra fell when it no longer rose in the spring equinox, when in the fall equinox, right? The woman's fixing to fall into the wilderness now. So the wisdom of the heavens is in the wilderness. For those of you, and I'm going to tell you what, there's a whole generation of us that have our Neptune in the natal chart right here. And that tells you what your future is. In your future, there's a generation of us. Just like Pluto, Uranus, and all of that. Those of you who have Neptune in Libra in your natal chart, that is your destiny. You will learn this knowledge. Not if, you will. If you don't, you'll suffer the difference between old age and the golden age. Mars in Virgo on this day. I'm just going to stop on this day because and again, that outer transformation for Uranus, it is now retrograde in Pisces, while at the foot of that cross is all this going on. Jupiter, Venus, Mars, all of this at the foot. Vatican's having a really hard time on this day. Really hard time. And Saturn's making its move. No longer retrograde, coming out of Ophiuchus and entering into its death and birth. The old Saturn is dying. The old government is dying. The new government will be born in the sign of the philosopher in the house of Jupiter. I hope that I keep going over and over and over and over this. You'll start picking it up for yourself. Let's go back to the moon and continue to watch her bob along. Get my Let's go, girl. Watching the days as we go. We're going to take it up through the winter solstice. A lot of this is about moon magic. Moon conjunct Mars on the 14th of November in the sign of Virgo, 11% illuminated. She is not hosting. If anything, she's hosting this star. but she is in a hosting position. Going to have another conjunction of that Venus-Jupiter moon triangle, and then she's a day moon now, right? She's that egg moon as viewed from us, but the black moon. I'm sure this is the original black moon, Lilith. She will conjunct the sun again. On the 18th, this is still in Libra, the wisdom of the heavens. And Venus is also there. And Jupiter is also there. So on the 18th, now that's a lineup. Let's turn this off. Boom. That's quite incredible. Saturn is still in Ophiuchus. Mercury, all this is Mars's house here with Antares. And, of course, Uranus still in Pisces and Mars still in Virgo. More problems for the Vatican as this age declines. This is the timing where John the Baptist would say, I must decrease so you can increase. One goes down and one comes up. Let's go back to our wobble and see how many years it's going to take for the moon to move back in the eye of Bull. Got a Saturn conjunction on the 20th of November in Sagittarius. So finally, in November, Saturn will no longer be. And that's almost a host if she was over here. Almost. I love playing with this thing. You can take it back and put the man on the cross at the winter solstice, and that's the real day Jesus died. I hate calling him that. To me, it's Sept. I'd rather call him the Lamb of God than Jesus, because it comes from Theseus, out of the Greek, which is the firstborn son of Jupiter. Dionysus being the second-born son of Jupiter, and he killed his brother. Still on that same path, it will change. Oh, yeah, Dionysus and Theseus both were resurrected gods. I guess the oldest tale we have for it is Mithridates, Mithras, the Mithras cult. He died. It's the same story of Aquarius, just told by different cultures around the world. And Jupiter, having the influence over anything that's published in this age, he confuses the times and the seasons. That's what he did. They want you to believe some of these stories happened 2,000 years ago when they happened 30 and 40,000 years ago. How about this lineup coming up here? One more time around. Wow. Wait till we get to the winter solstice. A lot going on in December. Astrology can seem kind of boring at times, but the times we're in right now, the information that's being released about the constellations and what they're trying to do to it, they're trying to change it again. Okay, we missed that day. Let me back this up. How did I miss that day? Oh, I missed it by the hours. The moon's going to be in Capricorn on that day, on the winter solstice. So the moon is in Capricorn. You got a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. Venus and Mercury both in Mars' house. Mars still in Virgo. Jupiter is now spot on the balance of the wisdom of the heavens. So that's the Vatican playing astrologer there. Now their own. Not just the Vatican. All religions are going to be looking up. I guess the Vatican's going to be looking at this right over here. They're concerned about that Saturn-Sun conjunction. And on this day, Jupiter just reigns supreme, right? He's holding down the wisdom of the heavens, while the Sun and Saturn and basically Venus, Lucifer, all die in the Milky Way galaxy. In the mother's womb, they born, the river Styx, whatever you want to call it. They died and they got across to be reborn. I mean, just incredible day there for the next 3 years. I've been watching this since about 2005, 2006. These conjunctions that all lead up to the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in 2020. On the same day, on this day. Let's pick our moon back up and keep going with her. She's going to take us somewhere. I'm really disappointed in YouTube these days. There are no more good channels left. It's all misinformation, propaganda, sock accounts. There's very little that's even watchable anymore. It's that bad. And a lot of channels come tomorrow after this September 23rd and nothing happens. The apologetics begin. And they will try to talk their way out of why this didn't happen or why that didn't happen. Or you're going to have to wait. We don't see it. The excuses are going to be astronomical. And then other channels will get so bombarded with negative comments, they'll just shut down. That's what happened after 2012. Some of the channels, they had to adapt, overcome, morph. Very few will actually apologize. So on January the 5th, we have another conjunction back in that time of the eclipse point. But we're just going to follow her right around to 2020. Let's see what she's got to say. Mars, Jupiter conjunction. Let me back that up. Let's back it up a day. Where are you at? Full on Mars, Jupiter conjunction. 1700 hours on the 6th of January 2018. Very auspicious day there. In Vedic astrology, when these two come together in Sagittarius is the opening of the Golden Age, with the other alignments that occur. But that's the house of Jupiter. This is the house of Mercury. So, a lot of aggression, a lot going on. Again, the Vatican is Mars and Jupiter, the abyss and fire. You can throw Israel in there as well. What they've done over there in the Middle East. Going to have a lot going on. This is a marker for them. That would be considered in mundane astrology, meaning day to day, down to earth, general, not being specific people, more institutions and things like that. Let's keep going. I hope I'm not boring you guys to death. Like I said, there ain't a lot of videos out there, so this will be at least watchable, I hope. Moon at 27% on the 10th, in conjunction with that Mars, Jupiter, in the sign of the wisdom, the heavens. Saturn, Mercury conjunction, Sun, Venus conjunction, and the Moon in Ophiuchus. They like playing this card. The Moon was right here when the Vatican did the 2016 Reset Together ritual in Washington, D.C. The Moon was full and sitting in the crotch of Ophiuchus. And they played the moon magic, and it didn't work because they threw earth magic in with it, and they're not allowed to do that. Mutable earth, not just it was Virgo magic. It's when they chose to do it. Look at all these conjunctions coming up. That's the 14th. And I'm born a few hours after that, so you have almost an eclipse on that day. Venus combust of the sun on the 16th. And I'm born right there. Wow. Okay, so we're going to have a crazy birthday. At least Mercury will be in my mind, the sign of the philosopher. Mercury is in its natal position in my birth chart. Saturn on the tip of the bow. This is what my birthday will look like this coming year. I'll be 54. I was born on the same day as Michelle Obama, but not the same time. Interesting day. Let's keep going. Gotta lock in on it. Old Luna. Everybody, if you haven't gone to Planetary Linguistics and learned the names of the moon and the other planets, please do so. I know a lot of them can be boring, but you should go back through some of the older videos I did on all of the etymology and the word origin and the word translations that I went through on all of the videos of the planets. And I never did get around to the constellations before Google Translate changed the way they did it. Made it a lot more difficult. But we did get the planets done before they done that. And a lot of other words that were associated with the planets, especially Jupiter being the big boy on the block and who's running everything. So on February the 1st, we are back to another eclipse point meeting where the moon's going to do this 12 times. So there's another day you got to watch. I'm calling it moon power, water power. Those will empower actually the Vatican because she rules water. She actually rules with Jupiter. And there's their conjunction on the 7th of February with Mars in water in his own house, Saturn in Sagittarius, Mercury in Capricorn with the Sun, Venus in Aquarius, Uranus still retrograde in Pisces, rebellion within the church. And apparently over the wisdom of the heavens. They're going to be fighting about this. Mars in his own house. And the moon will conjunct Mars the next day at 33% illumination. It'll conjunct Jupiter at 11% and Mars at 33%. It will conjunct Saturn at 16%. There you go. It's like Valentine's Day. Mercury combust of the Sun on that day. And another Moon-Sun conjunction in Aquarius. It looks 3 degrees of Aquarius. So this is exactly opposite of the Leo conjunction in the eclipse. If that makes any sense to you, top of the cross, Leo was the bottom of the cross. In the heavens and fire on earth. So Mercury combust, communication bad. Here, the Sun would have the upper hand, to where on the eclipse, the Moon eclipses the Sun, has the upper hand. But instead of the Moon being over the Sun, it's under the Sun. And she's at 0%, a new Moon. So, new beginning. New beginning. The opposite point of the eclipse. 2:15 at 1400 hours. We could back it up to 13 and put right there. 12 o'clock high noon. You're looking at it about 12:30. And it's going to be weird because the Moon is so close to Mercury. It's all going to look much bigger. Let's zoom in. How about that? Interesting little line up there. And of course Venus there as well. Saturn's house. Let's take it on back around. Major outer transformation going on in the age of Pisces and the Vatican. Okay, we saw the Moon drop at that point. It's no longer in the eye of Cetus. It's still in that right eye of the bull. Still in the club, coming down. It goes up, it goes down. It wobbles. It snakes through the sky, actually, is what it's doing. It's snaking. But that's the way we perceive it. If you looked at it on a flat plane, it's doing the spirograph, circles within circles. And I completely understand that. It's a dance. Coming back around to Jupiter in March, let's see what the spring equinox looks like here. Mars in Ophiuchus, its own house. Saturn still in the mind of the philosopher. Fiery mind of the philosopher. So another Moon conjunction on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, with the Sun, new Moon. Mercury convened Venus, Mercury, Moon conjunction, Moon at 0.02% or 1.9% illuminated on the 18th in Cetus or Pisces. Let's take that back so you can see. We'll zoom on in. Not hosting. See, not hosting. Even a little bit counts. The Jews, they go out on the solstices and the equinox. And every month on the new moon to see that sliver in the sky. They are big time moon watchers. The rabbis all do it. It's been a few years since I posted the Mansions of the Moon video, and that year the moon definitely fell in the left eye of the bull. It was quite incredible, as did some of the other planets, because they wobble up and down. We are above the ecliptic or below the ecliptic. Right now, it's considered below ecliptic. Yeah, it's in perfect sync when that moon does fall in the eye of the bull. Everything's about the heavens. I wish the Vatican would just come clean on 4-3, again, a moon-Jupiter conjunction. Mars and Saturn, ooh, all up in the house of Jupiter. Here comes the moon to join them in a nice little alignment. She's 50% illuminated at that point. Illumination percentages can tell you how much power is thrown off, that it enhances or hosts another star. She's our hostess with the mostest. Almost a Sun-Uranus conjunction in April of 2018, and we have the next time we have that super eclipse that's going to cross America. It will happen in April. Returning to the eclipse point, March the 24th, right there. Got a full moon coming up, right there. On the 29th of April, full moon in Virgo, Jupiter still in Libra. Getting that wisdom of the heavens on. They need to learn something over there, huh? Get the story straight. They screwed everything up so bad, scribbling the scriptures. Mars getting ready to leave Sagittarius and enter into Capricorn in May, and that is where Mars is exalted. So a lot getting done in May, possibly even war. A lot of aggression anyway, but much action. Everybody can get a lot done when the moon is in Capricorn. Mercury-Uranus conjunction with the moon on the 12th, 13th. And of course, a new moon in Taurus in May. Slightly moving out of the eye. It's still falling. Just curious as to where it'll be on 2020. If y'all are bored, you can pause it or skip ahead. I like watching it. Y'all should play with this thing. It will teach you so much. And then do it in the different traditions. Almost a full moon again. Going to have a full moon in Scorpio on the 28th. Saturn waiting on Jupiter. Mars still exalted in Capricorn. It'll be there for a while. There'll be a lot going on next year with Mars in Capricorn. Busy, busy, busy. A busy summer. It'll kick off in May and it won't stop. Mars was debilitated in Cancer, which is at the bottom of the cardinal cross, as the top of the cardinal cross in Capricorn. The Sun conjunct the Moon on the 13th. We're coming up on the summer solstice. I'm going to use its own house there. And back to the eclipse point on the 18th. Yeah, on the 18th. We'll stop here on 21. I'll put it at 12 o'clock. 65% moon in Virgo, Jupiter retrograde in Libra, thinking out of the box. Wisdom of the heavens and thinking out of the box. This is next year's summer solstice. Saturn in Sagittarius. Mars exalted in Capricorn. Mars was debilitated last year at the solstice. Mars is now exalted on this one. Neptune in Aquarius. Uranus finally trying to move out of Pisces into the age of Aries. The Sun clearly over the Sun pillar in Orion at the foot of Gemini, and it is calling it in Taurus. So this is a marker. This is a big marker right here as far as if Taurus is in the summer solstice, then Aquarius on the fixed cross would be in the spring equinox. Do you see that? So if you're watching this one, if it goes by the summer solstice, then Aquarius is we're already in the age of Aquarius. And we really need to banish the age of the abyss. But there's your marker. That it's, in this instance, it's not 7 years. It's now. Let's continue forward. We want to get, oops, I'm at the wrong one. I'm on the Sun and I need to be on the Moon. We want to return to the eclipse point 1 year later, and we want to proceed on to 2020. Again, the Moon is going to host Jupiter retrograde right after the solstice at 83% illuminated. Saturn almost appears retrograde again. A lot of Saturn retrograde between now and 2020. Jupiter and Saturn do an amazing dance in Sagittarius before they actually get there. Full moon conjunct Saturn on the 27th of June 2018 in the sign of Sagittarius, the philosopher. So, wow, what a day that's going to be. Mars still exalted in Capricorn. A retrograde Saturn at that. Almost a full moon conjunct Mars in Capricorn on the 30th of June 2018. She rolls along. Not a lot going on in the sky over there. Everything's bunched up on the other side. A lot going on, action going on in what I call the wilderness, or the dark side. The east is the light side, the west is the dark side. Constellations are empowered in the spring equinox and disempowered in the fall. So one more to go after 7/12 in Gemini. Actually, two more to go, huh? Yeah. Two more constellations for the sun to get back to its point. That Regulus point again, and Venus just came through there before this in July the 15th. We got at least a year of eclipse energy with the moon. Another alignment with Jupiter on the 20th of July at 64% illumination. Another conjunction with Saturn on the 24th at 94% illuminated. Again, almost still a full moon. Mars retrograde in Capricorn. Mars retrograde. If you have Mars retrograde in your natal chart, you are a candidate for depression. Especially when Mars is debilitated in Cancer or retrograde in your natal chart sign. You are a candidate for depression. Mars can be iffy. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. I have Mars in my first house, Capricorn, exalted, but you're also a candidate of drowning in that case, and I did. There, that's moving up now. The moon is rising now as it snakes through. It's slowly picking up. That looks like an eclipse, don't it? But it don't happen here in the United States. But on 8/11, the moon will have an eclipse. So August the 11th, 2018, but not in North America. We'll have to look that up where it's going to be. New moon, let's zoom in. It won't be the eclipse we had, right? The total one. But it's still there, depending on your angle. Because it makes the black spot, it tells me it is an eclipse. So, got another one coming, but not as significant for us. Let's keep going, because we need the sun to be 3 degrees Leo. Just a few more days. And that last conjunction, Jupiter out of retrograde now, August the 17th, and the moon at 44%. Another 78% illuminated moon. Every time it conjuncts Saturn, it's a little bit less. From the full moon down to 90%, down to right at 80%. Mars still retrograde out of Capricorn, back into Sagittarius, non-exalted. The moon at 93%, almost full, will be full in Capricorn. Everybody likes the full. No, it won't. It'll be Aquarius. Right there. No, Capricorn. Full moon in Capricorn. August next year. Let's back up. We missed our day. This is the day of the full moon. I'm at the eclipse. Repeated. Whoops. Let me get the time back. Right there. So the moon will be in Sagittarius, just being born out of the Milky Way galaxy. The sun will be back at 3 degrees Leo, conjunct Regulus. And is that's just Regulus? Mercury's not there. Okay. Mercury in water. Venus in her own. No, this is the house of Mercury. Venus in Mercury's house. Mercury in the house of the moon. And that's when we can expect that eclipse energy to fade. It'll start fading here. And it almost repeats on the 23rd instead of the 21st. Those leap years throw everything off. But the moon definitely seeing Sagittarius here at that time of day. So it moves into Capricorn at 10 o'clock that morning as it conjuncts Mars. So Mars is still in Capricorn, but fixing to leave, going retrograde. So the last hoopla for Mars, and almost a full moon. The full moon happens over here. I clicked on it. It would help if I click on it. You can get the exact time. .6%, 99.7%. I mean, it's on the line, Capricorn, Aquarius. It's probably going to, yep, it jumped into Aquarius before it got exactly 100%. So it will be really an Aquarius full moon. It's going to start in Capricorn, but it hasn't reached its pinnacle yet. Its apex, its summit. Must learn synonyms. The thesaurus is your best friend. That's what they used a lot of in the Bible. Babble was replacing words with other words. And they know the multiple meanings, but you do not. 99.8%. So the moon's fixing to return to my natal chart. .9. I have the day moon in my natal chart. So I'm going to get a full moon. Yeah, that's where my moon is. So August the 25th is going to be a nice day for me. 26th now. So we got a full moon that's going to leave Capricorn and enter Aquarius. Let's get the exact time. 99.9. And I mean, it's going to land spot on to my natal chart. Minute by minute, full moon right there. Yeah, that is my natal birth moon right there. With Venus, I have Venus in the solar plexus. So interesting. Sorry, thanks for stopping and watching me do that. I was just interested in it. Let's zoom back in and count these days off till 2020. See what else is going on. I'm watching these numbers over here is what I'm doing. This is what y'all need to do. If you don't have them, you go over here in your tools. You go in tools. Come on, tools. Tools. It's shutting down on this. Do it again. Tools. There we go. And you go in information. And you hit all available. You do short, all of this disappears. You just get the magnitude and the time and where it's at, the declinate. It's degrees. It's GPS, where it's at. And that's how you use that. So we're looking at all the information, and it's easy to find out what all of this means. You have Google. Look it up. It will explain it to you a lot better than I can in layman's terms. I mean, I understand it, but it's a lot of techno jargon. Into September now, up next year. We're fixing to come back around soon to today's date next year. But I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing. But I don't interpret the Bible the way they do either. To me, it's 100% astrological. So we hit our eclipse point back there. We had another conjunction in Leo on the 9th next year. Let's back it up to where that eclipse point was again on the 21st. And take a look at this whole day one more time. That was our original eclipse point. Of course, the sun is not quite 3 degrees here. We need to move it up 2 freaking days to hit that point. So a year and 2 days before it returns. I'm assuming because of the leap year. My words are slipping me today. Let's go back to the moon, lock in on her, and keep going forward. Alright. Coming back around to the 23rd of next year. Jupiter finally going forward, still in Libra. Moon conjunct again on the 13th of September. Saturn going to conjunct on the 16th. Another Mars conjunction on 19th. Everything is bunching up on one side of the zodiac except for Neptune, Uranus. Everybody else is hanging on the other side of the zodiac. I'm almost done with the donation charts. Things are a little crazy for me right now. I'm in a college town. I'm trying to find a room to rent, and it is impossible, especially with a dog, and I smoke, and I'm not a college kid. The rooms that are available either don't accept my dog, or it's a bunch of guys that are 18 to 22 years old. So I'm stuck in this hotel room, and it's expensive as hell. It's $340 a week, so it's literally draining me dry. I have to wait on food stamps because I literally am running out of money. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not too terribly upset about it for some reason, but things always have a way of working themselves out. but I can use all the help I can get right now, and I'm in a bad bind. I can't just run out and rent an apartment here. Everything is so scrutinized. I don't have a legitimate ID right now, and all I've got is a receipt piece of paper, and everybody wants all this documentation, and I have no credit. I have just part-time. I'm just working part-time, keeping my head above water. I'm helping my friend. I try to establish another business right now, and it's the only thing that's keeping me afloat. Jobs are hard to come by here. Rooms are hard to come by, and they're extremely expensive. I'm looking at $1,000 for a one-bedroom. That's without utilities or anything. That's just rent. So I'm hoping to get a room for half that price, $500 or $600 a month. But this $340 a week is killing me. I don't know. And the next cheapest one is $410 a week that will allow my dog. And the internet here is horrible. It's taking me forever to upload these videos. Sun going to be on that balance in Libra on 11/11. Yeah, just about. Trucking along. You want to keep an eye on your natal charts and your birthdays. Think about where your planets are in your charts as this moon moves through, or as they move from one constellation to another, from one house. I mean, I've watched the fish. I've watched the moon enter. I did a video where the moon went in the mouth. When the moon goes in the mouth of the fish, it also goes in the eye of the bull. But there's a big, I'm not sure how many degrees it is. I'll have to look that up. That we get that wobble effect. You can see it's above Aldebaran now, slowly in ascension. And I'm not sure the moon and the sun work together. I don't know if one ascends while the other's descending, if they run in a similar pattern, opposite, or it's variable. I'm assuming variable based on alchemy. You want to cover all the bases. And that's pretty much what's going on. The zodiac being an alchemical transmutation circle to bring humanity into our golden age, where we reach our summit, our height, our precipice. Coming around to the winter solstice again. Saturn dead up in the mind of that philosopher for a couple of years. A lot going on in the heavens, but being terribly misinterpreted. It's like the boy who cried wolf. They just keep doing it. We're becoming so disdained to the propaganda. We can speed this up here. I want to see when the moon does come back in the eye of bull. So I should lock on to, well, no, I have to stay on the moon. I can move her around by the month faster. I say I could stay in Taurus, but many planets land in that eye. We're looking for her. We're looking for the big magic. That's big earth magic. When she's in fire, it's fire magic. When she's in water, it's water magic. And then within those magics, there's mutable, cardinal, and fixed. The mutables are easier to change. The fixed ain't going nowhere. The cardinals are already where they're supposed to be. And Venus conjunction in Libra on the 1st New Year's Day 2019. Mercury being born out of the galactic center. Another eclipse, again, not in North America, but in a fire sign of Sagittarius on the 5th of January 2019. With Mercury, Saturn, and Sun all in Aquarius. Jupiter's house. Mars moving into Pisces. Doesn't mind being there. Jupiter's house. They work together. Water and fire. Fire and ice. Game of Thrones. They split it again. Just give us part of it. They don't want to tell you the end of the story. Usually some of the best series, they cancel them right before the end. They did it to Battlestar Galactica. Did you see that? Oh, full moon. Oh, okay. Full moon on the 20th of January 2019. I was wondering why it flashed like that. Full moon. Coming on around. Spica, the undefended one. Over Corvus in the lower house. Jupiter in Ophiuchus. Going to conjunct the moon in Ophiuchus at 21% illumination. Venus there as well in the hero's journey. Again, Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey. Y'all want to know about that. Another Saturn conjunction on the 2nd, well, at the end of midnight, 11 o'clock at night, the time. Almost 11, 7 minutes to 11 on February the 1st. Saturn moon conjunction, and of course the moon at 5.9%. Zoom in. That black moon riding with the sun in the day. The egg moon, also known as Mary Magdalene. Anytime you see the iconography of Mary Magdalene, so there's either an egg moon, a new moon, new beginning in the picture, or she's holding an egg. Sun-moon conjunction on the 4th of February with Mercury all in Capricorn. See with February now, Sun's still in Capricorn. Got to distance yourself from that Western astrology. It's okay if we were born thousands of years ago. Mars in Pisces, conjunct Uranus and the moon on the 10th February. That transformation in Mars, all of that's going to move into Aries, and that's going to affect those in Israel, Palestine, whatever. Getting closer to the eye of that bull. Probably 2021. We're going, let's just kick it on up a few months. Bring her back around. Keep going. Let's move her here. This is 2019. See how close we are. And almost. Let's zoom in. How close are we on? That is almost perfect. So, October the 17th of 2019. I'm assuming the next month. Let's back it up a few days. Oops, a few hours. Nope. Let's move it to the next month. Back it up a few hours. Let's watch it fall dead in that eye. That's when big magic happens. I'm going to call it right there. Almost midnight. On 12/11. And the moon. That's the biggest magic, and it's full. It's at 99%. 99.1%, a full moon in the eye of the bull on 12/11/2019. There's the big magic. You have to watch the movie Brand to understand. B-R-A-N-D. And there are a couple of them. This one is about advertising and moon magic. But very interesting day there. I figured around 20, but the year before. So you see how the moon wobbles. It doesn't go straight. And the sun does the same thing. The only moving object in the sky, excluding comets and asteroids, that does not retrograde is the moon. The sun retrogrades through the constellations, but the moon doesn't. It doesn't have a let's step back. It has the snake, the wobble. If it's straight, it would finish the zodiac faster. But because it goes up and down, it takes a little bit longer. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Let's go ahead and take her on to 2020. So, December the 11th, 2019. Full moon in Taurus. Be there. Big magic. At least go view it for yourself. It doesn't happen all the time, as you can see, because the moon snakes through the sky. Let's just take us on around. We got one more year, which is actually 13 more times around. Can y'all handle this? This video is pushing an hour and a half right now. We're at 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sure y'all have got off bored to death, but there's nothing on YouTube right now, so I ought to at least make something that we can watch. Like the junction on the 22nd, back to the 21st, we got 23% moon in Virgo, the sun with Jupiter this time entering into Sagittarius. This is what the Maharishi, if that's what you want to call them, are talking about when Mars comes over here and meets Jupiter in Sagittarius in 2020 in February. So let's watch that for a minute. Let's watch Mars. We'll remove this one. Move over here and conjunct Jupiter. See all them conjunctions going on right before this happens? Apparently all of that means something to them. But we want to watch these two meet, because this is the days. I don't see it in February. There we go. It happens pretty much right at the spring equinox. The day before the spring equinox. at 3 a.m. Moon, 89% in Capricorn. Mercury in Aquarius. Saturn in Sagittarius, right before, a few months before the conjunction. Pluto is here in this mix. Sun in Pisces, should be Aquarius. Venus in the house of fire. And everything else all bunched up right here. Spring equinox 2020. This is the day the Maharishi say the golden age begins. And then we kick up. Watch the little dance that Saturn and Jupiter is going to do this whole year. They go into Capricorn, they retrograde together back into Sagittarius. And that's the summer solstice. They're both in retrograde at the same time in the same house. After Jupiter just conjunct Mars to open the door to the golden age. And then they both head back forward. And make their conjunction in Capricorn on the winter solstice. See, they lied to us about 2012. It is 2020, not 2012. It's 12/21/2020. That's when the door to the Black Lodge opens in Capricorn. Jupiter is there. The Sun and Mercury are in Sagittarius. Eclipse. They're conjunct. Mercury's conjunct in the death of the Sun. The Sun is born 3 days later. Boom, boom, boom. When he comes out of the Milky Way galaxy. Saturn and Jupiter are still conjunct. The door to the Black Lodge is open. Pluto's in the mix, manifesting your nightmares or the hero's journey, the desires of your heart. Where's Mars on this day? Of course. Moon at 72%. We can pull her illuminated on this. That's factor. Okay, going forward, let's see when she gets full. She is full on the 29th. And she'll be full on one pillar again in Taurus. Mars in Pisces, not good for the Vatican. Jupiter conjunct Saturn, but still just not good for them. Venus now in Ophiuchus. So just interesting all the way around there. All of this that's happening. Venus in the claw. Actually, the claw's way up here. This is literally the northern claw, but they have it way down here. I get really angry about what they've done to the zodiac, because this is knowledge that's for everybody. It's not for a certain religion or a certain people or a certain age to take and manipulate. That's just fucking wrong. And they're going to have to get off their high horses. Dudes got to get out of the dress, come out of the churches, and let's go into the observatories and start acting like real people instead of a bunch of hocus pocus, mumbo jumbo, Bible bibble babble from Babylon. It's time that we stepped up as humanity and put away the superstitions and realize that we live in a magical world and we live inside of a transmutation circle. We're at the center of the damn thing. Well, when you're in the circle, you're supposed to be protected from what's outside the circle. If you've ever seen the movies, when something bad's happening, they try to draw the circle and get in it, because you're safe in the circle. And they take our circles and make squares out of them, and we end up standing in a corner. You're either in a line or in a corner, or you're back to the wall. And it's time for all of that to end. It really is. We've had enough of the circus. I call it a 3-ring circus, a 3-cross circus, whatever. That's exactly what's going on. But if we can learn through this, it's not a game. This is school. We're here to learn, to grow, to become, and to manifest. And you can manifest life and life more abundantly. We're told you do not have because you do not ask. Bug Out Brad was talking about pray this morning. Pray actually comes from a word that means beg in our vernacular. And transmutation is not about begging. It's about commanding. It's about, you don't ask it, you tell it. It's got that Saturn in it. Saturn don't ask you what you want to do. Saturn tells you what you want to do, what you're supposed to be doing. Jupiter rules the age of the abyss, but it's also the age of grace. That's why all the damn criminals are getting away with everything. But in Aquarius, they get away with nothing. It's instant karma. Instant. It's also instant manifestation, be it good or be it bad. And those of us who cannot learn to handle and wield this power will not be able to use it. You're not going to be allowed. And this power is based on your emotions. Your emotions are the energy that you manifest with, be it love or be it hate. Love creates, hate destroys. When you hate others, you are destroying yourself, because the hate lives within you. Just remember that. It's not our business to judge anybody but our own damn self. And you correct you. You take responsibility. You made your choices. It's nobody's fault but yours. You had choices. No, I didn't. Oh, yes, you did. Even if it kills you. Alright, you got a damn choice. But a lot of us that have come out of the church, woke up to the truth in the heavens, many get angry, disdained. They're angry that they wasted their life or all this money they put into the church, or their time, or their heart, their beliefs, their whole paradigms wrapped up in it. And I call it, when they do come to the knowing of the truth, they crash and burn. Instead of being relieved, instead of having that burden lifted off. So many of us do. To me, it was a relief. I was thankful. I was glad. At least I knew who I'm dealing with now, right? I know who Jupiter is. I know who Saturn is. I know who's telling the truth and who's lying. I know the name of the game. I know who's on third, who's on first. It's all bibble babble, but it's all hiding this. It's all done to hide all of this. And on this day, this will no longer be hidden. The truth, the Black Lodge, opens. That's the scrolls in heaven. They open for anybody who wants to enter in. You can enter in on this day. And knowledge will be given to you. Who do you ask? The Lamb of God. Nobody comes to the Father but by me. Nobody. And Saturn's going to be in his own house, conjunct his sun. Let's see that day. We have to go years. So we got to go here. 1 year. 2 years. Months. Oh, it retrograde before it got there. So, January, February. Let's see if I can get this right here. That's the way the ecliptic's running. Saturn conjunct Omaha on the 25th of March 2024. And this conjunction happens right before an eclipse happens. Let's get the eclipse. Let's just go ahead and watch it. Got a Mercury retrograde going down before the eclipse. Where's my moon? Where's my moon? You should be here. Back it up. Oh, there she is. Okay. The end of this 7 years eclipse cycle. Okay, we need to go forward here. We have the next great eclipse on April the 8th, 2024 in Pisces. Water. Mercury's there. Venus is there. Saturn is conjunct Mars in Aquarius. Jupiter's conjunct Uranus in Aries. Wow, wow, wow. This will be the culmination of the event that happened on the eclipse of last month. And everything bunched up in Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries. Just one aeon, 4 houses. Did y'all understand all that as I'm telling you this? Age, world, and time all mean one house of the zodiac. Times is 2 houses of the zodiac. Earth is our planet. The worlds are above our head. When it tells you that God is the creator of all the worlds, that's what he's talking about. Let me translate that for you. God created all the worlds. Saturn created the zodiac, the houses of the zodiac, because he's the one who puts lines, boxes, measures, fences, restrictions, limitations. So if you got a fence in your yard, it's about Saturn. It divides you and your neighbor. You like that fence, don't you? How about time? You like time? Do you like astrology? I love everything about Saturn. Saturn rules government, agriculture, astrology, all those great things we need. You tell me, what the hell does Jupiter give us but a bunch of lies through the age of Pisces? Mars gives us war, angry, aggression. Uranus gives us rebellion. That can be good. So Mercury and Venus, sitting between this conjunction here on this eclipse day. Let's move the minutes up. Let's get you right on. Let's zoom in. Let's see what you look like. And again, this will be in North America. And it will run over the same point in Paducah, Kentucky that it did last month. It's where X marks the spot where those two meet. Alright, 1 hour, almost 40 minutes. I think I put you people through enough looking up for today. But a great thing to do today and every day. And night if you can. Remember, commit that random act of kindness every day as we enter this age. You don't want to walk in broke and Karma is your best source of funds for the next